Welcome to On Ice with John White, brought to you by Berkeley. Help you catch more fish this winter. It is now midwinter on Lake Simcoe, and although it took a long time to get here, the lake is finally frozen over. Better late than never, and Simcoe ice hounds can take over where they left off last year. So is there anything that's changed from previous years? Bottom composition of the lake can change from year to year, and one of the things that I've noticed that there's a healthy covering of moss on many of the satellite shoals and humps. This is a very healthy and food-rich environment. This will hold goby and aquatic insects, and this year there's a very healthy red worm hatch. If whitefish are ignoring your baits, this is probably the reason. Everyone I catch is full of these little red worms. These are actually midge fly larvae, and when they hatch, there's literally thousands and thousands of them all over the bottom. In the springtime, the larvae will transform into these pesky little non-biting flies, which then become food for shiners and other bait fish. While on the ice watching the Aqua-vu, I noticed that the whitefish were biting above my bait all the time. So what they were doing were actually biting all the debris coming up from the bait and red worms. When whitefish are on a red worm bite, it's very difficult to get them to bite anything else. Every once in a while you just raise the bait up to see how aggressive the fish is. Every once in a while you get a more aggressive fish that's had its fill of red worms. Carp are not aggressive feeders in the wintertime, but even they'll take advantage of a hatch. They look almost robotic as they cruise the shallow mud flats and humps and rock piles. Every once in a while somebody catches one through the ice. It's like hooking into a submarine. Viewing them underwater, sometimes you'd have to wonder if they're even real. Big lake trout won't wander too far from the spawning grounds during the winter time. In a mild winter they might go deeper. In an extreme cold winter they'll stay shallow. They're basically looking to eat what comes in to feed on red worms. A big trout's primary meal in the morning might be a whitefish. Much of the water in the south part of Lake Simcoe, like Cook's Bay, is starting to get a little murky. A lot of precipitation and thaws for runoff have really kept the Holland Canal pumping debris into the lake. But it certainly hasn't affected perch fishing. It's been a fantastic year so far up to midwinter. Delayed pressure has certainly helped because even the perching grounds didn't have much ice. Compared to last year, it's been an exceptional year so far, and hopefully we won't have the February blaws. Now that the main lake is frozen over, it'll take a little pressure off the perch. As whitefish are combing the bottom for red worms in some parts of the lake, it certainly isn't true everywhere. The deeper you fish, the more likely you are to find fish that are feeding on something else. As we move into a less aggressive period during the winter, more of the bite through more of the day will be contained to the bottom. Bottom contact and subtle moves are the key. Just remember, never start off your day assuming fish aren't aggressive. Sometimes aggressive fish can be called in from a long ways off. So as we head into the last period of winter, remember, be safe, have fun, catch fish.